territory that we all have the privilege of being on. I live in Treaty 1 territory, which is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and my nation is the Ojibwe Nation, Shoal Lake First Nation 40, so I'm Treaty 3 territory and honor that as well. My spirit name is Shweganun Anishinaabeg, and my clan is Caribou. So I'd like to first of all thank the grandmothers for being here and for the grandmothers who invited me. There's some kick-ass grandmothers that I certainly want to be around and I want to support. When I had the opportunity to cross paths with them, I said, whatever you need, I will make time for you guys. And so I'm humbled for the opportunity to be here. Excuse me one second. Thank you. Awesome. So this morning, we're going to learn about human trafficking and what it looks like in Canada and what I've learned over the last 20 years and condense that into just a few hour or 2 hour presentation. But I'm not going to leave you hanging because I'm going to share with you what Manitoba has been doing on the issue of ending sex trafficking in our province. That hopefully will be inspiration for you moving forward on some of the action plans that you can put in place. So my presentation is in 2 parts. It will go till 10:15, and then we will take a 15-minute break, and then we'll go again right until 11:30. My presentation is a combination of PowerPoint and videos. That was the stressful part this morning because the videos, it's one thing just to talk about it, but it's another thing for survivors to have their voice about it. And sometimes they can't be here, and I also want to acknowledge if there are any survivors that are in the audience here today, that their voice is really important. And sometimes they can't be here, but they have to have a voice in presentations. So there's a combination of PowerPoint and video. If there are any questions that anybody has, I'm around at break, I'm around at lunch, and we will be having a panel. There will be an opportunity at the end of the day to ask any other questions that you may have. And this is a really tough subject. There's no easy way to talk about it. There's no easy way to sugarcoat it, especially when I'm around adults. When I also talk to youth groups in an age-appropriate way. But I don't hold back when I talk to adults because I think it's important that you understand the full extent of the issue. And so at any point in time, if any of the information is difficult for you, I encourage you to leave. It's okay to walk away and to leave and to seek somebody out to talk to. And self-care is a really important part, particularly when you're working on this issue. And so encourage you to take care of yourself throughout. Just a quick little bit of background about who I am and the experience that I have. I've been working on the issue of sexual exploitation and sex trafficking for about 20 years, mainly in Winnipeg. And I work for an organization called the Mama Wichita Center, which translates from Ojibwe, we all work together to help one another. So we are the largest nonprofit, non-mandated, Indigenous-led organization in Manitoba. And we do a variety of family resource support services. So we're non-mandated, which means we focus 100% of our energy on rebuilding families. And we work in partnership with child welfare when we need to. Because we also make sure that if a child is in need of protection, that at the very least that child is in an Indigenous foster home or we're caring for that child and making sure there's a connection to family. And so we play a really important role in Winnipeg for Indigenous families in Winnipeg. And those of you that may not know, Winnipeg is the Indigenous capital of Canada. So it's kind of weird for me to be other places when I don't see another brown person. Because in Winnipeg there's 70,000 of us that live in Winnipeg, so it's the community is oftentimes reflective of of our influence, both on buildings and everywhere. So that work led me to do a number of and be part of the provincial strategy that we've had since 2002. And so we've had the only provincial strategy up until your recent provincial strategy in Canada, and based on a population of 1.2 million people in the entire province, there's an $11 million investment made by our provincial government to end sexual exploitation and sex trafficking. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that strategy, but a lot of my work has been at the community grassroots level, developing resources to prevent, intervene, and help women and girls rebuild their lives from sexual exploitation and trafficking. Where at the Mama Wichita Center, and I'll explain a little bit more later, we opened one of the first safe houses for girls, and we operate the only rural healing lodge in Canada for sexually exploited and trafficked girls 13 to 17 years of age. And so because of that expertise and the work that really at the community level we've been doing, I was asked by the Canadian Women's Foundation to lead a national task force in 2014, and I'll go quickly through that as part of my presentation. But that is where I was probably shocked the most. It was like I now came out of Manitoba. I wasn't really used to any national work, and I thought, oh man, every province is doing something about ending sexual exploitation and trafficking of persons. And they got to be taking it as seriously, and just like Manitoba's taking it as serious as we are. And I found out that there is really no other province doing anything at all in an organized, strategic way. Lots of women leadership at the grassroots level, but in terms of government really taking it on as an issue, as a human rights violation, there was nothing except in Manitoba happening. And so I was really saddened, but also that just motivated me to make sure that there was a really good research done on sex trafficking in Canada, who's doing what, and what we can do about it. And so in 2014, we launched 34 recommendations on how to end sex trafficking in Canada. So when I finished that work, that national work, then I went back to the Mama Wichita Center, and we continued to do our community grassroots work on the issue. And that has given me the opportunity to meet other leaders, including Joyce Smith and many, many others at the local level that are working really hard at ending sex trafficking in Canada. So I'm going to begin my presentation with a very short public service announcement done by the Joyce Smith Foundation. All of the videos that I'm showing you and the PowerPoint, I will email that to Isabel, and you can get the PowerPoint so you don't have to write down anything if you don't want to. And if you, they're all accessible through the internet. So there's nothing that I have that you don't have access to, and because education and awareness is a really important part of how to end sex trafficking in Canada. So I think if the lights are okay, this is kind of a dark video. Are there more? Can we ask somebody to turn the lights off over there? I just don't know, some of these lights